Good evening everybody and welcome to Brandon Town Council's ordinary meeting on this Monday 11th of March 2024 at 7 p.m. The usual little spiel about if there's a fire alarm go off, can you please not use the lift but in an orderly fashion go down the stairs, and there's a fire escape at each end of the corridor. Could everybody make sure mobile phones are switched off or silent or on airplane mode, please? And oh yeah, we're live streaming. So if anybody doesn't want to be in the picture, please say so now, and we'll ensure that they're not. Won't be Jackie. Thank you. We'll go straight into agenda item number 1, which is a policy. Apologies for absence, please.
Councillor Palmer, Councillor Watson, Councillor Ridgeway.
Thank you. Item number 2, declaration of interest in additions to members' register of interest. I'm sure all that's needed has been signed. We move on to item number 3, which is to receive a report from Squadron Leader Geary, RAF Lakenheath. Over, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good evening, councillors. So, looking back at February, in addition to the continuing deployed operational commitments and routine training sorties, which did include some night flying sorties last month, 48 fighter wing aircraft participated in exercise Joint Warrior here in the UK, whilst other aircraft deployed off to the USA back in February. So we're quite low on numbers of aircraft on the station at the moment. Additionally, last month, the wing conducted an active shooter tabletop exercise, and they held their annual awards event, which was recognising their very best airmen and officers on the wing. With regards to visitors, it was relatively quiet at the start of the month, but the latter of the month saw a whole plethora of senior visitors, including the Director of Logistics from UCOM, the Safety Chief of Security, and the Commander of the 3rd Air Force, and those visitors have continued to come through all this month as well. It's a busy old time for visits. In terms of community engagement, planning is well underway for the 2024 Suffolk and Norfolk shows. We've got project officers appointed both to Lakenheath and at Marham, and they've been tasked with identifying some capability demonstrations so we can confirm the site laydown. We had a meeting on Friday, and actually I'm really excited about the laydown, particularly the Suffolk show this year. It's going to be some really good stuff there. The British American Committee met on the 7th of February, and some themes that I pulled out of that meeting: housing, and in particular the challenges associated with landlords setting rents in accordance with the rank-related allowances the USN and officers get. It's one of those challenges. Roads is another constant theme, and Tim Passmore, who's the Suffolk PCC, who sits as part of the British American Committee, has engaged with Suffolk County Council to raise those concerns. In particular, it's the road between Lakenheath and Mildenhall, that Eriswell road, that is of real concern. We've got the real dips in the road. But then one of the other things that came out was lasers, and some concerns raised about laser incidents in Cambridgeshire and in Norfolk actually over the last couple of months. And the intent on that, with that issue, is to try and educate communities about the dangers of pointing those lasers at fast jet aircraft. Only a couple of incidents, but just those couple of incidents alone have the potential of causing an absolute disaster. So if you get the opportunity, if you can promote that warning, that'll be really good amongst all our communities. Just on the housing piece, 48 Fighter Wing have been invited to engage in the West Suffolk District Council Housing, Homelessness Reduction and Rough Sleeping Strategy, and that consultation process is running to the 18th of this month, and we're feeding into that. And then on wider engagement stuff, back on the 29th of February, I helped deliver some STEM activities for about 200 school children who attended the Skills Escalator Day event at the Jubilee Centre in Mildenhall, which was great fun, I have to say, really, really good. Looking forward, you'll have heard a late takeoff this evening. They're still flying into the evenings, but finishing by about 8 o'clock local time. They're coming back. That's going to continue over the next few weeks. And then finally from me, so the interviews for my replacement happened 2 weeks ago. I have not got the details yet, but once I've got the details of my successor, I know when he's coming in or she is coming in, I'll let you all know. But in the meantime, this is going to be the last meeting, and so I just want to thank you, actually, all of you, and not only for what you do for Brandon and your local community here, but also what you do for in support of the US Air Force 48 Fighter Wing and me as the RAF Commander as well. Genuinely, it's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to be the RAF Commander for the last 2.5 years. When I leave here on the 4th of April, I will leave with a heavy heart and a tear in my eye. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time, thoroughly enjoyed working with you as well, and I wish you all the very best of luck for the future. Chair, any more questions? That's me.
Thank you.
On behalf of Brandon Town Council, sir, it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed. I really enjoyed it.
And we will miss you too.
I wish you all the very best of luck, I really do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great meeting.
And safe journey to, where is it? Hopewell?
Feltwell this evening, Hopewell tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, have a good meeting.
Thanks a
everybody.
lot.
Thank you very much.
Take care, Mum.
Cheers,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Thank you. See you later.
Well, item number 4, to receive, confirm and sign the minutes of the Brandon Town Council full meeting of Monday the 12th of February 2024. Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Etherington, second, Councillor Canning. Any questions on it? No? A vote, please. Thank you very much. Matters arising, number 5, for information exchange only of the full council meeting of the 12th of February. Do we have anything? No. Anybody else? No. Good. Number 6, urgent business. I have none. There's been none lodged, so we will skip number 6. Move on to item number 7, which is to receive a written report from the town clerk. Did you want to read that out, Jackie, or are you happy that everybody's got it in their pack?
Everyone's got it.
Yeah, okay, so we will receive the written report from the town clerk. Item number 8, public forum. A monthly event limited to 3 minutes duration per resident. This will include reports from county, district and town councillors, also community group representatives. If I may, I will hand that over to our county councillor, Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It looks like devolution could be on the way for the county of Suffolk. We've been selected from only 5 or 6 counties in the country. It's out for consultation at present, and apparently if it goes through, we will be getting in a region of 16 million pounds a year for the next 30 years. I'm not sure if we can raise and retain any additional income. There's much detail at the moment. That's in consultation, period of consultation. If anybody wants to find detail on that, it's all online. And that would be a nice bedtime read for 1 or 2 of you. A couple of highways issues here. I'm having the Keep Clear signs repainted in front of the craft cabin. I've had multiple complaints on that. And I'm also hoping to get 2 removable bollards, which the clerk is aware of, to be fitted in the avenue, and hopefully that will be funded from our local highways budget. That concludes my county report, Chair. I will move swiftly on to my district report. I managed to persuade West Suffolk Council to clear the rubbish from the back of Collins Fish Restaurant. I've had multiple complaints on that. They were there 3 days actually taking that rubbish out of there. That was an absolute disgrace. What's been happening in there, people have been backing in there just dumping their rubbish. I will now pressure West Suffolk Council Chairman to attempt to bring the building back into use. And then we can get some people in there perhaps doing something with those windows there. Awful, what an awful view from the high street, and we're better than that, so I'll try and pressure. That'll be a bit more complicated because that's going to be technical and that's going to be legal, but I will try and progress that. So that concludes both of my reports, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. District? I have nothing to add from district. Town councillors. Councillor Entry.
It's the district. This innovative recycling initiative that West Suffolk have got on the college site, reverse vending machine. Do you have some details about it? It sounds quite interesting.
I can give you a written reply on that one,
Oh, yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
interested, yeah.
but I'll circulate it to
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, are people aware of the grants for funding available for loft installation?
I don't know, but I can pick up on that as well. And
Well, it
there are
might
other
be
grants.
useful to people.
Yeah, there
you
are
know.
other grants available as well. So
Yeah.
certainly, if I can get it, I'll send it to you, and then you can disseminate it to everybody. Can you make a note of that for me, please, Clark?
On that one, there, Penny, on that one, I know that we've got 2 local traders that have both got access. They will come and survey for you, free of charge, and then straight into.
There's a plethora of
Yeah,
people that are willing
but
to come.
there's 2 really good local ones, but I hope they get used first.
Henry.
Thank you, Chairman. The comment that Mr. Canuck said about the columns, I find it very admirable. It's been cleaned up, it's been right eyesight. But how long will it stay like that? There's no security there. Maybe some Harris fencing would stop people getting in there, for one thing. I don't know if you're allowed to do that because of you don't have I don't know.
If I may, Chair. Good question, Henry Kostecki, Councillor Kostecki. The problem is that's private land, and West Suffolk Council would probably not be appropriate for them to fence it off. They have put some plastic barriers down there, but I noticed the first day they went in there, they were pushed down, and people were using it as a car park. So there's only we realise the problem, but until that's brought back into use with tenants upstairs, then we will have that problem. But we'll just have to monitor it. You know, if you see anybody dumping any rubbish in there, then you know, try and get some details. You know, we're here to look after our town. We're here to make it look respectable. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
One quick item against the District Council. Essex have actually taken in highways back into their own hand, in their own hands now. Would there be any sort of like thought maybe West Suffolk Council doing that?
That'd be a county. The Suffolk County Council have changed their contractors, which was Kia, and then they've drawn up a new contract with a company called Milestone because they got. I do believe they were slightly unhappy with Kia. So,
Should be.
but I don't think West Suffolk has got the capabilities, or Suffolk have got the capabilities to have their own crew. That's the thing. It's always contracted out.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I'll throw it over to the public if I may. Annette Meadows.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, my questions are relevant due to Councillor Kinnock and other councillors making this so last month. My first question is to Councillor Gary Brockerhurst. How many times have you been on this town council and resigned? Is it 2 or 3 times? I want to show that things were against me last month, which was out of order. My next question is regarding, unfortunately, Councillor Peter Ridgewell. Last month, before he entered into this chamber, after Councillor Kinnock brought him here in his car, I asked him how he was, and I could see he was in great pain. I admire his dedication to this town council, but he admitted he had dosed himself up with morphine before he come here and was prepared to take some more when he got home. As I said, his dedication is really good here, but morphine is part of the opium family, and I'm sure you'll understand where I'm coming from this, Councillor Whittam, as you were a nurse and you obviously are aware of what morphine is. My next question really is about council tax. Mine says that 19% to Brandon Town Council. Now, when I was at the preset budget meeting, you took money from your reserves. So why is it we're now having 19% on? This is a disgrace, and I'll urge you now to get on with the new cemetery, as the new existing cemetery is really filling up fast. Councillor Kinnock, your picture that was attached to the council tax documents, smiling as if you achieved something for Brandon. If your entrance design is holding up the new cemetery, for goodness sake, scrap it. It's also, I hope, that you did not use Councillor Peter Ridgewell last month for your own agenda, because that's what you've done to the West Suffolk, all us residents. You asked us, well, some to elect you, but you don't care about down there, you don't care one bit. We have to report to you what is going on, and it's not on. You should be down there looking at what's going on the west side of town. Also, I think, really, you are wearing two hats, which I'll remind you, a clerk at one time in this council wore two hats, and look what happened to her. And I suggest that really you shouldn't be doing so, because you're aware of what happened. It cost this town a lot of money. In the years I've attended this town council meeting, this is the first time I have spoken out. Other times I have been quite happy with the way things are going. But now I don't trust many of you, and I certainly do not trust Councillor Kinnock. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Can I ask mine first?
Yes, Councillor Populist.
Yeah, the question for myself, Annette, I resigned once.
But that was, because I done that, it was held against me last night from Councillor Kinnock and certain councillors.
But I did stand for election. It wasn't through co-option this time that I took my place on the council.
I understand that, but it was held against me. And you can't have other councillors doing what they like and then being held against someone.
Annette, may I just remind you gently, please, that you've asked your question, they're now being answered. It's
Okay.
not a backward and forward discussion. Councillor Seaman.
Hannah, I didn't know that you'd resigned, and I can't speak for the table, but when we were voting, I can guarantee that most of us voted for the person that we wanted at the time,
Okay.
and whether somebody had resigned or not didn't come into it. And I am very sorry that you didn't,
I'm sorry, but I
but
heard
and I can
about
understand that your
gossip.
feelings are hurt, but I can honestly say that that never came into mine or anybody else's peripheral. It is just how it was, and I am sorry that you're upset.
I am upset. If I may reply.
Yes.
Because I heard from gossip what was going on here. I
Gossip
knew
is
that
1%.
Councillor Pinnell would be elected before I even come across here to put my co-option in. That's how it was.
Excuse me.
My life was as
I can
interesting.
assure you nobody around this table knew Councillor Pinnell would be elected prior to the vote, and it's counting.
Can I respond to that?
I couldn't. Well, you've made the accusation. I've answered it. But yes, if you want to respond again, please do.
I heard from two councillors sitting around this table prior to it, so I knew what was happening.
Well,
So that was, it goes on.
it does not. It does not. Councillor McCann.
Could you give us the names of those two councillors who you
And
spoke to?
when? Yeah.
No.
You can't give us any names.
No, because you won't admit to what was going on, so why should I?
Well, I don't think-
Then there's no mileage in that argument
No
whatsoever.
credibility there.
If I may, I'll answer your query over the council tax rise in Brandon. We had to take, in the last administration, there was £40,000 taken out of reserves to bolster the budget to keep it going. And I think the council tax rise for Brandon was 3%. Or thereabouts, was it? From memory.
It was, the year before last was 8%.
Yes.
That's when we bolstered the budget by switching 40 grand from savers to balance the budget.
That's right.
Yeah.
We cannot obviously keep taking money out of reserves because we would go bankrupt. You can't go into Tesco's and buy 100 quid's worth of shopping with 50 quid in your pocket. And we were in that situation. We had to increase the council tax. But it sounds bad, 19% on my council tax. Well, it's not actually. It's the amount of money that we take has gone up by 19%. And that equates, at the time I said, and I worked it out on the back of the fact packet, to about 26p per household per week. And now I've had it confirmed from our town clerk that she's just had her council tax bill and she's gone into it, and a band D has gone up by £19 a year. And does that relate?
B.
Yeah, B, not D.
For Brandon. For Brandon, I've had £19 a
Yeah, yeah. So I think for the service that this council provides, 19 quid ain't bad when you can't go into a pub and buy 2 pints for 19 quid anymore. Councillor Edrington.
There is one thing I heard today. It looked at in a totally different aspect. It's more money being kept for Brandon.
That's correct. That's correct. We will be putting back the £40,000. It will probably, some of it, go towards the new cemetery, and to maintaining services and standards of living of the people we employ. We've got people that have their annual rises, and their rises were big over the last 2 years because of inflation. So we don't apologise for it, but it doesn't actually, I think it works out overall of 5.7% overall, which is what you will pay more on your bill. So it's a bit misleading to think that your council tax has gone up by 19% for simply Brandon. It's not the case, it's the way the figures work. Anyway, anybody else from the public forum? Judy Redding, if I may, please.
I was very disappointed at the meeting that Nick Timothy had, our prospective new MP, that more of the council didn't attend the meeting. It's not to do with your politics, it's more to do with democracy, and it wouldn't have hurt you to go and listen to what he said. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I take on board what you say. Councillor Mechanic?
Well, I think an invite would have been nice. I knew nothing about it. I think he should have at least invited the town council, the district councils and the county council. We never got an invite.
Well, I knew about it, but I
He's
didn't
not,
get an
he's
email.
been invited.
I did.
It's a public meeting.
Anybody else? Councillor... Well, Mr Black.
We'd just like to thank the Town Council Planning Committee for supporting us in opposing the planning application from the Bridge Hotel. In particular, we'd like to thank Councillor Savage, who's given up lots of her own time in support. So we'd just like to say thank you very much.
Thank you for that.
Well done.
I've got a public one, the Pride.
You have, yeah. Go.
Okay, I've got a message here, just it's probably easy just to read it out. This is from Mrs. Sue Meader. We're delighted to be bringing a family-friendly rainbow colour run and Pride Day to Brandon on Saturday, June the 1st. The colour run, where biodegradable cornstarch is thrown in the air as runners pass through the colour cloud, is as much fun to watch as it is to take part. There will be live music, food, lots of stalls to visit and activities for the family, including rainbow welly wanging. Sponsors can sponsor a paint the table and throw paint at the runners. They're looking for stall holders and have space on their website. They will also be on the market square during the Easter holidays for people to sign up for the colour run and to book a stall. And they're also holding an open evening on the 25th of March at the Church Institute for people. And sorry, Sue, I haven't got the time.
The meeting.
Yes,
7 o'clock.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I've not cut and pasted enough.
Oh, right.
At 7. I think it's a brilliant initiative, something that I'll support wholeheartedly, and I know that there's some letters gone out for various councillors to take part down there. Also, got Brandon in Bloom have got a litter pick running from March the 25th to the 31st, and Brandon Heritage Centre Easter Fair on the Saturday the 23rd, 10 to 3. 10 to 3, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am at this point wondering, because of this, and it's still in the public forum, is to move item 14 forward to now. We should then give Mrs. Reader the chance to... Yes? Right, so that's what I will do, if I may. We have item 14, which was an email received from Mrs. Meader, and it follows on from a meeting I had with Craig and her last year, where we agreed to help and provide whatever assistance we could, and to fly the flags on the old schoolhouse prior to and during and just after the day, which I don't know which day it is, but we're certainly quite happy to do that.
It's the 1st of June.
Sorry?
The date of the event is the 1st of June.
Right, so yes, so the Saturdays, so a couple of days before. So I know we're tight on because it was explained at the time too last year that we're fairly tight on the flags, and I can't remember the ones that fly just before you and then immediately after. So we can work that out nearer the time. It should be in your packs for item 14. Would you like to go through what you wrote to me?
Yes, thank you.
And then the council can pick up on it. Thank you.
I'll stay seated at the moment because of
Yeah, no, it's good.
yes, as you know, we met with you last year. We're delighted that for the last few years the pride flags have been flown in Brandon. The event that we're holding is a rainbow colour run, and for those of you that don't know what a colour run is, they're extremely popular fundraising events that are held by schools and charities and other organisations, where coloured paint made from biodegradable cornstarch is thrown up into the air. It's not actually thrown at the runners, it's thrown up into the air, and people run through a colour cloud. Very popular, very colourful, very visual, great fun to watch. Children of all ages can take part, and we are asking people to wear glasses when they take part, just as a little bit of protection, but the paint is very safe, and the event has been held for a number of years. The other part of the day is a Pride Day, where we'll be inviting LGBT organisations and charities to come along, as well as local stall holders. We'll be having food, entertainment, the coffee caravan are coming along, and it's very much a family-friendly event. I think people maybe have a misconception about what Pride events are about, and we're hoping to sort of allay that misconception really, because it is very family-friendly. We, it's going to be an enjoyable day. The colour run will start at 12:30 and the day will go on till 6 in the evening. It's very affordable to enter the colour run. It's also very affordable to have a stall. It's just £5 for charities and £15 for small traders. And it's another community day for Brandon. We may have differences within communities in Brandon in a number of ways, but we're all the same really. And the day is to bring all the communities together, for people to find out a little bit more about Pride, to take part in the colour run, to have fun. I'd like to invite any of the councillors and people here this evening that would like to take part. And if you would like to have a stall, anybody here to raise money for a charity of your choice as well, that's very much welcomed. We're supporting the local Suffolk charity Outreach Youth, who support families in Suffolk and beyond, and particularly to younger people and their families, who young people may be discovering their sexuality with families, may want to be able to support their children, their grandchildren, and their family and friends. So the organisation we're supporting will be there as well. And it's a chance really to support each other, support the community, and just have a really fun, colourful day. Like I said, there'll be rainbow welly wanging, there'll be lots of other rainbow events as well, and we hope people come along and see what it's all about. It's going to be very good, very good fun.
Thank you. I know last year when we met, we promised some help. That's where I'd like to throw it over to the councillors now. We'd run through loan of our gazebos, and I don't know what tables we've got. I don't know that we've got many.
We've only got 2 or 3. We've got some big green ones, about 3 of them.
They won't
But certainly we're happy to loan you the gazebos on the usual loan basis that if they come back broke, you fix it.
Our staff normally put them up and take them down.
Well, that would cost considerably.
Yeah, but at least it saved the gazebos, and purchasing new ones to replace those is quite considerable. They were quite expensive.
They were, yeah.
Is that a case where if our staff are putting them up in their working hours, is that like market day?
Timing, no, it would be on Saturday, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Saturday. So it'd be timing lieu.
Yeah, this one says the loan of a gazebo and tables to promote the event and take colour and entries on market days.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's on market days. Yeah.
So the event itself is on the Remembrance playing field, but we're looking obviously to take entries for the run in advance of the day.
Right, so you want the gazebos purely for the market square then?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
right,
And
so
if we
that
have
should,
entries
I
on
don't
the day
think.
as well, that would be appreciated, but the immediate request is on the market square.
Brilliant. So that doesn't present such a much problem as it does for. Yeah. Yeah. They should. Yes. You should be in touch with Sharon Fairweather, is it?
Yes, I'm in touch
Oh,
with
you
Sharon.
are?
Good. Good.
And can I just say thank you to everybody as well. We've heard from quite a lot of people who are really pleased that the event is coming to Brandon. We've had a lot of support for it. And that's really nice that so many people have got in touch and said how pleased they are that we're holding it.
That's it. I can tell you who has got a load of tables is the Church Institute.
Yes, and again, we're working with
you
them.
You could probably tie in with the Reverend there. And there were other little bits like a portable PA walkie-talkies, high-vis equipment. I'll hand over to Gary on that, if I may.
High-vis, I've got a pile of high-vis that we had for the carnival. Most of it's brand new, still bagged up. It's railway safe. It pops open if it caught by a train, which I'm hoping nobody will. We've got some walkie-talkies in there as well, so I need to get in amongst all the carnival kit that I've got stored. It's stored in one of my garages at the moment, but I've been trying to get that into a central area so that anybody can use it.
Thank you.
So that would cover your walkie-talkies, covers your high-vis. I think have you got band or you've got live entertainment? So do you need a PA?
Some live entertainment as we're still talking about how best to do that. And obviously in the past the best way of doing that is up in a curtain-sided lorry, so we're still working on that. We have got some entertainers, and if there are any local entertainers that would like to come along on a day, again, we'd really like to hear from them as well, because it's nice to have that local feel to it, obviously, and promote local talent as well.
Would you therefore need a PA soon?
Yes.
Or would your entertainers, would they be provided?
Again, we're looking at...
Okay, if you can let me know on that side of it.
Yeah. I think that's covered it. Pretty much, that's it.
Thank you.
One as well.
You're welcome. So that would be, when I get to it.
We have got some sponsorship for the event, but if any local companies or the council could find any funding to get going, that'd be grateful.
Yeah.
Just clarify, can we clarify that, Mrs. Meader? The loan and delivery of gazebos and tables for the event is one of your things, but as you've already just said, it was purely for the market
Well,
square.
there are two different things. The days on the market square during the Easter holidays are to give people information and for them to enrol in the colour run, whereas the event itself, we will need gazebos and tables for that, but again, if we could borrow some from the council, that would be helpful. If not, then we are talking to other people as well. We've also got some fundraising events coming up, the details of which will be on our Facebook page and the brandonpride.co.uk website.
Yeah.
And there's lots of ways that people can help us fundraise for it, because obviously there are a lot of costs with putting an event like that.
Absolutely. Well, we can't commit, I don't think, the staff for overtime on a Saturday, but I would imagine by the time that you've got them put up and taken down a couple of times on the market square, you should be okay with doing it without causing them harm, and so long as you make some sort of commitment that if they do get damaged in any way, because they're quite expensive pieces of kit. But
it is the opening and close down. I'm sure you've used them at exhibitions too.
yeah, and we only have 4 gazebos, so, but yeah. Any other comments from the councillors?
Can I just add, please keep your Facebook page, make sure you keep in contact with Jackie, she's our media lady as well, and with the town council, we've got a web page, so Jackie would be able to help share things for you there.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else from the public forum? No? I shall move on to...
I have a question, sorry.
Sorry. No.
I was wondering if somebody could report on the progress of the new cemetery, please.
At this stage, I don't think there is anything further to report. Yeah.
They have sorted out, there was an issue about a bit of land that we didn't own, well that's been sorted. The drawing that they had, the pedestrian entrance was for some reason moved to the other side, which involved this little, literally a little patch of land, but that's been resolved because it's been put back to the right hand side, which is what we all agreed on.
Yeah.
So that's all right. There is an issue which I will raise under the local plan later on, but it's just about ready to go to planning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. That'd be it, I reckon. Okay, thank you everybody for that. I will move on to item number 9, which is correspondence. I will lead on this one from Norfolk County Council, if I may. It should be in your packs. Item number 9, late correspondence. It is Wheating with Broomhill, land at Brandon rail sidings, Munford Road Wheating, which is our good station, and it's a retrospective planning application for the retention of an extra rail siding that was put in without planning permission by the company that operates the aggregate facility down there. This application will be considered at a meeting of the County Council's Planning Regulatory Committee on Friday the 22nd of March 2024 in the Council Chamber, County Hall, that'd be Ipswich, isn't it? Norwich, sorry, no, it's, Norfolk, Norwich. And the meeting starts at 11 a.m. So people wishing to go to speak should give written notice to the head of their democratic services or by post at least 48 hours before the committee meets. I think Brandon residents should, if they can, go, and any councillors from around this table should go and speak against this application. And I would hand over to Councillor Mechanic to give details on the lorry movements that it has caused.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's a retrospective planning application for the second siding down there. The aggregate facility to maintain a substantial turnover in aggregate put in the second siding without planning permission. So that actually doubled the amount of aggregate coming into the station, and that doubled the amount of aggregate being taken through the High Street and on to Bury St Edmunds and wherever. So I will personally challenge the application because what that has done to Brandon High Street is a sin. We've all seen it. We've all seen the aggregate being spilt on several occasions. We've seen the filth, the dust. They changed that site from a woodyard to an aggregate facility. They waived the permitted development card, and Norfolk County Council, which is sand and gravel, Norfolk County Council, not Breckland, Norfolk County Council, gave them permission to run an aggregate facility down there, which brings in every 14 days 300 tonnes of aggregate, and as I said, most of that is brought through the High Street. That is outrageous what's happened to us. The way we've been treated on that is a scandal. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I will say, unfortunately, I cannot attend, although I would have done on the 22nd of March, because I'm in Chelmsford with Transport East, which would please Councillor Ridgewell, because I will be talking about bypass for Brandon with them. But don't hold your breath on that. So that's that. Any other further? Yes, yes. Would you like to?
Right, we've had an email. Our town keepers have been nominated for a Best of Brandon Award, and they're very happy, very delighted, but they are concerned because they've been nominated in the business category, and they are wondering if it's appropriate for them to accept the nomination as they're not a business.
Can I comment as one of the organisers of that? We had, I believe it was 3 nominations for the town keepers, and it was really difficult they were nominated in 2 as a business class and 1 was just as a group one, and it was difficult for us as organisers to place them in a group classification because that was basically for voluntary groups. Individuals, obviously it's a team, so they didn't go in that one there. We have now been having discussions for future years amongst the committee, but for this year the nominations in there, we considered, because it was as a paid role, that it was probably best to put them in, to keep it as the business class this year. So as organisers, we're more than happy to keep them there, and we will look at what we've done and how it's organised there with our committee for future years. But I do think they do deserve to be able to go forward for this award. They will be up against two other groups or businesses in the town. So there's no guarantee they're going to win, but to take that opportunity away from them, I don't think is right. But other than that, I can't say any more on that.
Thank you, Gary. Any comments from around the table?
I think there is concern amongst the town keepers that they have a different, put a different face on things in Brandon, and that they don't wish to upset the businesses because the businesses are more important than they are. And I do think they are worried about it.
When is Bob?
Oh, dear.
2 weeks. Is it the 20? Is it on there? 22nd, I think.
So that they've got to be in.
Yeah.
I think it would be inappropriate for them to take an award against commercial operations,
Agree.
in my opinion.
The businesses, the businesses that are in there, they're not being nominated for good service and things like that. They're generally nominated for the over and above what they do in the community, which is, I think, is exactly what the keepers do. They go out, when they're out working, I often see them chatting to members of the public. They put on a really good base for the council. I realise it's not a business. It's cropped up this year. The only other alternative is that they withdraw from it and just leave the two.
What category does the fire brigade come under?
The fire brigade actually went in as, what did they go in?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Paul.
Because there's similar organisations, really.
Yeah.
Well,
If the keepers are unhappy and there's not that much coming from around the table, I'd say that they probably need to withdraw.
okay. Right.
We need to be very careful how we explain that to the keepers.
Very.
Count the people that are nominated, that they obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
The only option is to make another category.
Sorry, it's just a very, very gentle reminder that the public forum is over now and it's purely around the table. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
as I
I'll
said,
take that.
sorry, as I said, we are looking at it, and there will be different categories next year. There will be different categories for it. We've been, some of the nominations, the young people one, we actually had to go to the schools to get nominations there, and the schools have actually nominated this year rather than members of the public nominating young people, because it just wasn't happening.
No.
So,
But shall we leave it that the town clerk will have a word with the keepers and see what it is that they feel about it and take it from there?
Okay.
Because, yeah. Right. Any more correspondence? I don't believe there is. So we will move on to item number 10, which is to approve payments for February. And you've all seen the attached. So if I could have a nomination.
Propose, Chairman.
Yeah, Victor proposes and Penny seconds. Show of hands, please. Yeah, thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, could I just ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I was just looking, I think I might have a solution for the town keepers. Not this year, unfortunately. I was just looking at the top one on there, pollard trees for a cost of 8,382. Well, as we know, last year there was quite a kerfuffle around the security of the town keepers. And I want to make sure that we keep them and that we use them as much as we can. I was a bit shocked to see that sort of figure there, and I'm sure there's a reason. They may not have the equipment, or they may not be height trained. I don't know, but I just wondered. And my theory is, well, perhaps we could have a look at our town keepers and make sure that we are using them to save our money and possibly increase their use through time, to say that we could perhaps put their services out to the general public in some areas. And I just think that would kill two birds with one stone. It'd sort Gary out, and it would also give us more security, or give them more security that we are going to keep them.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes, it's something we can look at as part of your new committee. Thank you.
So just to follow on from that then, from what you're saying then, would you, are you suggesting that as part of our committee that we encompass the town keepers, not the town keepers themselves, but the actions, the work of the town
I
keepers?
was rather labouring under the illusion that it was to look at all aspects of council. So that would include what you're saying. So,
okay.
Yeah, lovely.
No time like the present.
You might, yeah.
On the matter of the pollard trees there, I know it was the tree officer had suggested that it was to a 3 or 4 year cycle.
No, we'd always been on a 3-year cycle. So he put it to a 4, which meant that we had to cut the avenue in half. So they're back next year to cut the other half off.
Because to be honest, the avenue, it's a bit of a jewel in the crown of the town.
Yeah, I mean, it looks atrocious.
And it doesn't, I mean, and I think some of the reason behind it with the tree officer, he was suggesting that it was more to do with the health of the trees. Well, they've been in there for donkey's years, and it were trimmed. Sandringham trimmed their avenue of trees every year without any great problems. Surely if we're starting to take large growth, there's some really large growth down there, the size of your wrist. It's more than 3 or 4 years growth. Surely that's more of a shock to a tree, but it doesn't look good.
No. Thank you. I agree. And I think everybody around the table agrees.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks awful.
Councillor.
A lot of the trees are in a lot poorer state than you realise.
Yeah.
A lot poorer state.
Yeah. Right, we will move on because we have done the accounts. To receive, item number 11, to receive income and expenditure statement against budget for January 2024. We've got it all in your packs and we have received it. Item 12, to note the minutes of the planning committee. It's in your packs and we note them. So I will skip quickly on to agenda item number 13, which is a resolution from Councillor Victor Buchanan. It's resolution number 465. Brandon Town Council resolves to place a concrete table measuring 2 metres by 800 millimetres within the orchard at Colson Lane at no cost to Brandon Town Council as funded through District Councillors' locality funds. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will attempt to move the motion. Sadly, we no longer have a picnic table down at the orchard, and I've been past there several times over the last year or so, and to see people turning up there to have a picnic and putting the food on the floor is really not good enough. We're better than that. We had a fine wooden bench down there. They set fire to it. We had a fine metal bench down there. Admittedly, the legs were rather skinny, and I take no responsibility for ordering the size of those legs, but once you push that table and got some rack on it, they snapped beyond repair. What I propose is to put a concrete table in there, made up of 3 parts, the top and the 2 legs, made out of 4-inch concrete with steel reinforced internally. There's no guarantees that it won't get vandalised, but I think this would probably be our best bet to keep a table down there on the long term. It's a 0 cost to the town council, and as a footnote regarding Colson Lane, the orchard in Colson Lane, I'd like to thank the ground staff for doing some quite important maintenance work on the trees in the orchard. Chairman, I'm willing to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I need a seconder for this. Councillor Brocklehurst. Yeah, now we can throw it over to the table. Councillor Oakley.
Can I ask what height the table is?
Sorry?
Can I ask what height the table is?
The table will be a normal height table. I think this is about 900 mil or something like that. That'd be this height. That's not a low one. It's not coffee table
So
height.
there's nothing for them to sit on though.
But there's no seats, no, unless you think you can raise some money for the seats. No.
Does would a wheelchair go under? I thought that was what you was going to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if that's the standard height, then that'll go a wheelchair and a chair will go under.
To see you up in the carpet on your own.
Half a job.
It is a very noble offer, I think, from Councillor Mechanic, as it will cost the Town Council nothing. So I'm going to put it straight to the vote. All those in favour? Right, got that?
Yeah.
Those against? Those abstaining? I think that's passed. So we now would move on to number 14, but we have already visited that. Thank you. So I will move on to item number 15, which is to resolution to exclude the public and the press that pursuant to the Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act 1960, the public and press should be excluded from the meeting temporarily due to the confidential nature of the business to be discussed concerning quotes, land, staff and contract. Could I have a proposal, please? Thank you, Mickey Seawood. Thank you, Peter Gorringe, for your, Paul Gorringe, for your... A vote, please. Unanimous, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. It was a great pleasure to see you all here.